Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, comrades of all ages. My name is DB333, and welcome back to Hearts of Iron for the New World Last Days Europe as the West Russian Revolutionary Front. Now, in the last video, we started messing around with this little chart here, and while Yakovlev, realistically, he's the one that we're going to go with anyway, we're messing around a little bit just to see what the other factions have to offer us. We're also going to go ahead and get working on the new, the new constitution, would seem. And then we'll work on the Southern Urals. Now, I'm thinking we might have to go ahead and help out one of these guys in their little conflict, because they are very stagnant right now. And I would like to see some stuff happening in this region of the world, but I'll give them some time. So for now, let's look towards a new age of culture. Culture is not a field that the front has had the luxury of being able to consider, but now they have secured control of Western Russia, it is an issue that will be forced to address as people have more and more time to spend on leisure activities. Yet the government is faced with more questions than answers. What should the approach to freedom be to freedom of the press? Should art be free from censorship or reflect the need of a Soviet state? Is experimental art a waste of time? All interesting questions that will be answered in today's episode of Dragon Ball Z. Or something, I don't know, I never watched the show. Let's up the civilian budget a little bit more. It's more of a nice action going. Oh, Tommy Douglas, interesting. Let's see, new national focus. Let's go ahead and encourage cultural experimentation. The early Soviet Union was a site of an explosion of artistic creativity born from the liberatory spirit of October. It's time for us to revive that spirit and usher in a new period of cultural experimentation. The works of Vertov, Tatlin, and Kandinsky must be remembered and cherished. Creativity in literature, art, music, film, and more should all be pursued with vigor. Freedom of art and press should be reestablished, even dissenting press under state supervision and censorship. Such measures will fill our people with a knowledge that our Soviet state is a pioneer not just in politics, but in all other matters as well. That works. The Popular Republic of Gazaland is offering Socintern membership. You know what? Why not? Why not Gazaland? It's kind of funny, honestly. I'm glad they're going to be getting some aid, because guys know they're going to... We'll vote in favor of that, I guess. God knows all the communist states over here are going to need some fucking help. The MPLA, Gazaland. Do these guys count? They're just off them. Namibia. I guess these guys too, technically. Encourage cultural experimentation. Now let's go ahead and sponsor cultural development. All the great institutions of Soviet culture and arts were lost along with Moscow and Leningrad during the Great Patriotic War. If we are to revitalize socialist culture inside the borders of the front, we'll have to reconstitute such institutions and restore them to former glory. New theaters, art academies, film studios, and universities will need to be built and considerable resources put aside to encourage artistic and cultural projects. Only through such efforts can we kickstart our cultural development. There we go. Greetings, comrades, and welcome back to Radio Free Siktiv Car. After a long hiatus indeed, we are back on the air and ready to bring you quality reporting you have come to expect from the station. My name is Maxime, and I'm joined here by my good partner and comrade, Anatoly. Indeed, it is good to be here with you, Comrade Maxime. Now, for those of you at home, you may be wondering what happened to the old host. Unfortunately, the station could only continue to exist thanks to the wonderful sponsorship of the Communist Party, and thus there was some disagreements with how the station should be run. Rest assured, however, we remain just as committed to bringing you all the latest news from all around Russia. Yes. A warm round of thanks to the Communist Party for their patronage. It's contributions like that which enable independent media like this to thrive. Now that we've settled that, let's move on to the topic of today. First, we'll discuss the most common ways that reactionaries try to manipulate people, and how to spot it for yourself. Then we've got a tell-all interview with Comrade Zhukov himself that you won't want to miss. All of this and more after the break, so stay tuned. Something seems off with the station. Aw. That is what it is. Lumumba. I know that name somewhere. He's one of the main guys in actual history of the Congo. I'm trying to remember who he was exactly. I'll get the stats from past to reform. Interesting. Speeds over its Zhukov faction. And now let's go ahead and uplift the young bureaucrats. As the Red Army swept through the rebellious warlords of West Russia, many new and promising bureaucrats joined our government. It's been suggested that for their invaluable service to the revolution in those turbulent times, many of these so-called young bureaucrats are deserving of a promotion. Despite warnings from some within the current bureaucracy that these newcomers may be an ideological deviants, without an utmost devotion to the revolution, we've decided to authorize these promotions. There we go. God, Africa just looks depressing right now. Yeah, the old Congo state. Undula. Engineering. Not too much in the way of engineering. Let's get new AKs going. We could do some of this. That's all okay, but I think for now, let's pluralize the system instead. The front is, to put it bluntly, terribly inefficient. The ideals of socialism are, of course, worth upholding, but pursuing them dogmatically while the union crumbles around us would be foolish endeavors. A new constitution to be implemented upon the front's dissolution shall be drafted. This constitution shall guarantee democracy, more stable and gradual path towards communism, and although opposed by some of the older bureaucrats, a limited amount of privatization. Trying to figure out what the condition is for these reforms, because we have political power. We have not passed reform in the last year or so. I don't know the deal, honestly. Don't get effects of the budget boost. Serbia sides with Germany. Polarize the system. Now let's get working on... Let's end war communism. War communism was a tragic joke. It was a joke without a punchline because its real butt was a collective welfare of the Russian people. It was now emphatically turned away from the mess of a policy embracing the will of the free market to drive some of our production and demand. The workers' welfare must be enshrined, and with it the tenets of Bukharism. We will not pretend that this is not, in part, a political move designed to boost our legitimacy, nor will we pretend that our leadership will take the credit. But this is socialism, after all, and if it works, nobody will think to complain in the history books. Zhukov read the new constitution, being careful to make sure it was all in order. Once it was signed, it could never be undone. The front will be changed forever. Of course, the constitution would not go into effect until the front was disbanded, and that wouldn't happen until Russia was united, and Leningrad and Moscow were back in the Soviet Republic. Still, the constitution being signed off now would mean stability later. Liberalizing the union, it should make everyone happy. Limited privatization had even been argued into the constitution. Zhukov had no idea how they got that past the old guard. Many were looking forward to seeing a democratic system in Russia, albeit limited, as it would only serve as controlled opposition. Zhukov raised his pen and signed, hoping it wouldn't be for nothing. Can we even hope to see this constitution in effect? We can hope. Because if there's no hope, then what else is there? Okay, let's go ahead. Exert our influence. New theater. Bam. And we'll just kind of AFK with that. Let's work on that. Drop tanks. Better drop tanks. I think we'll, we're about to end war communism, but didn't get a chance to. Go ahead and develop some rural infrastructure next. Our ruralities have suffered grievous harm in the interwar years as the ravages of war broke out in the back of the countryside. We'll take measures to overcome this error by integrating them into the glorious new system we have designed, one that runs goods from the heart of a city to the ends of our domain in days, if not hours. With integration will come political control, of course, and there will be opportunities to enforce previously lax adherence to socialist principles. But freedom is not truly free unless it is socialist, after all. In time, the rural world will come to understand this. Ooh. The policy of war communism lifted, and economic shock has been felt across West Russia. The transition of a mobilized war economy to a civilian one has noticeably impacted our economy. We may want to be more careful with our economic policy in the coming days, as anything could cause our economy to crash. The economic shock currently has been felt small, but our economy remains unstable. Many are happy with a new change, however. The quick change means improvement for civilian producing goods that could not come any faster any other way. Civilians can now keep more of what they produce. If our economy can stay stable within the next few days, it's expected that this will only show up as a small bump in our economy. Fingers crossed. Fuck. I like that the little focus right there. That is cool. So that went nowhere. So yeah, we'll get finished up on working on the EuroLeague and all those guys, and then we'll probably go ahead. Got these guys all nice and receptive for us. Might just have to tag switch and help these guys out, because they are struggling. Next, let's go ahead. Let's arrange agricultural mechanization. In many places, Russian farms are still worked by horses and mules hooked up to wooden plows. What modern agriculture practices that existed either never were implemented or discontinued due to lack of equipment? That simply won't do at all. We will not suffer another hungry winter. Our farmers will have tractors, modern plows, and fertilizers to work beside them. We'll see full storehouses and silos as an obvious result. Go ahead and decrease black market arms trading. Let's get anti-air going. This is all coming along, slowly but surely. What is Orenburg again? They got Burba. So let's go ahead and increase agricultural subsidies. One may attempt to merely seize a grain from the farmer when it's not enough, but who would that serve? Neither the city worker nor the peasant shall suffer the misery of hunger in our union. We'll give the farmers the funding they need, and we'll only ask for one thing in return: more food. Do whatever you have to, but give us more bushels. No factories assigned. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's the economic shock coming into play. If one did not know all the great men in Russian aerospace engineering, one could be forgiven. After all, very little of that engineering had been conducted in previous years, but those years were over. One of those great men, Pavel Sukhoi, would work to make his mark. Sukhoi despaired for years at the state of Russia, but with the return of a proper socialist government, he was eager to advance his ideas and bring what he considered an ideal state, which to him meant skies filled with jet-powered aircraft. All too often, however, he had to explain his ideas to lesser men. The young engineer, newly educated but with a history of loyalty to the nation from a young age, had been working on a design for a long-range jet-powered bomber. Russia naturally needed strategic capabilities if it was to reclaim its natural role as a great power, and this Sukhoi was content with. He was not content with the design. What did they go with? Modernist. They always seem to go fucking modernist. And Bergsist. Huh. Let's see. Stabilizer, the young engineer design, was wholly unacceptable. The configuration of the control surfaces far too inadequate to provide a pilot with anything other than basic capability. Combat aircraft required more than that, much more, and he would communicate that fact, regardless of how insistent he needed to be. Sukhoi knew, deep down, that the engineer was not acting out of malice, but of simple inexperience. Apart from himself and vanishingly few others, Russia had not designed novel aircraft in many years. So after the design was corrected, he resolved to instruct the engineer and others on proper design. Russia would have a grand air fleet, and if he had anything to say about it, it would be composed of the best designed craft possible. The Bureau begins. We could prepare for war. Tillman and all these guys, but that's just gonna be Jellicoe elected. They're at war now. I don't know why they're not going to war with Wales. Is that something else broken? I think the Union machine is broken. Let's go ahead and expand the oil industry. An army marches on its stomach, but if it can march further, it can march further and through much more if it has oil. Oil is the lifeblood of our army, and it is what will grant us victory. Our mechanized military demands it for tanks, trucks, and aircraft. Our economy needs it for trains and trucks to bring supplies and materials to where they need to go, to provide the factories Russia, and we must provide it with as much power as we can get. Gonna drink some water. Oh, okay. Michael Harrington, huh? Haven't seen the AI elect him yet. What fucking portrait do we have for him again? That one, okay. Well, let's hope he just fucking runs its course. Well, this is interesting. I have not seen Bennett elected before. I want to check out his tree real quick. Treaty port negotiations. The other America. With activists across the country. Interesting. Unemployment, young age, Higher Education Act, Medicare, affirmative action. Interesting. Improved academic base, beautiful. That is something to be celebrated. A union at what cost? What do you want to be a sailor for? There are greater storms in politics than you'll ever find at sea. Piracy, broadsides, blood on the deck. You'll find them all in politics. David Lloyd George. The return of the old. God save the Queen. I can't deny that's a banger of a song. Got the EuroLeague puppeted. Ooh. Let's go ahead and begin the redistribution. We have not inherited an egalitarian paradise. We've instead conquered a land that has abandoned its pretenses of equal wealth and disdain for private property. We shall again see a system of unequals, where a few have hoarded wealth while the great masses struggle. We'll fix that now. Property redistribution will begin again, and this time everyone will really end up with what they deserve. I think I'm gonna debug. Just because I don't want the AI to do nothing. I have not seen Human unify before, so that's why I went with them, if you're curious. It seems the most interesting, plus I've dealt with a bit too much Sverdlovsk lately, so mix it up a little bit. There we go. Bennett, that's not a good... Not Bennett. Harrington, that's not a good idea. You're gonna need... How are you gonna pay for it? That's not a good way to do it. Let's abolish the forced labor system. Let's go ahead and return to Bukharin. Our hatred of Bukharin's military policy is well documented, but one can never forget that. But his economic policies? Those are hard to criticize from our perspective. One might even call them admirable, and we'll continue with them. The Union will continue along this path, adopting the plans he set out to fulfill, and fulfilling the wonders that he had envisioned. People started noticing things. Looking up in West Russia, economically, you're better off now than we ever been before, and poverty has been its lowest since Russia was last unified. No longer do people have to fear if they are going to survive every week. Now more food is being produced, and new factories are creating more jobs than ever before. New industries are also producing more goods for people to buy, increasing the quality of life all around West Russia. An agrarian lifestyle is slowly becoming an industrial one, and our economy is seeing the benefits. It's good that the people are happy, and more are seeing the advantages of communism. It's apparent Zhukov has more popularity than not ever. The Marshal's government seems to be stable, and that stability is bound to continue. There's still much to be done to improve the economy and prepare it for unification. There are many options ahead of us. It is up to us to choose the best one to continue to grow to the growth. Good to hear, though. Good to hear. Go ahead and integrate the Euro League, or hopefully integrate them. And human. If you can't beat them, I don't know what to tell you guys. Sport weapons 5. There you go. Next, let's go ahead and do a policy of foreign investment. Before the Great Patriotic War, the Soviet government was hostile to foreign investment, believing that was a foot in the door for foreign capitalist powers hostile to the social aims of our country. Now perhaps it's time for a change in perspective. Due to our shared hostility with Nazis, we are on relatively good terms with capitalist countries like the US. It may be immensely beneficial for our industry to allow some limited level of foreign investment from such countries. They'll of course have to be kept under close eye, but the small price to pay for the economic benefit foreign investment will bring. Yeah? Honestly, I really like this tree. It's too big, or it's either too big or the focuses take too long. Beautiful. Go ahead and switch all these guys up to our main templates. Get a new general. Let's get Kulikov for now. We'll put you on the front line right here. Can add Orenburg to our spear, so let's do that. Let's integrate Orsk next. And then from here... Yep, I think these guys are at war now. Oh, no, no. Who is at war then? Team in Sverdlovsk. Could've sworn I heard the war go off. I was just clicking too quickly and I didn't notice. Maybe, probably. Let's prioritize industrial and developmental industry, then. If we are to turn our Soviet motherland into an industrial powerhouse, we must focus on a developmental approach, implementing the most technologically advanced and modern techniques and methods to build a strong and efficient economic system. It's not just enough to build huge industrial centers and cities. We must think about the ways to raise the economic level of the entire country, increasing the number of workers, the diversity of our industry, and the commensurate efficiency. This will ensure our long-term economic prosperity. There we go. Tag. No, T debug. No, tag Tobe. Apparently the AI can't fucking handle it. Look at that guy's glasses. I can't believe I've never seen those before. Tag WRS. Okay, if you guys can't beat that, I don't know what to fucking tell you. Other than that's embarrassing. Please, for the love of God, just take their capital. That's all you need to do. Fuck. Come on. Goddamn, the Third Army will not give up, will they? Better industrial equipment, beautiful. There we go. Delete all of their shitty templates. Let's integrate Orenburg. And next, let's get working on probably the Proud Red Army. And this will be interesting. Infrastructure all over here. Industry boosts. Yeah, Proud Red Army. Many dismissed the Red Army as a failure that it had dissolved after German invasion. When we threw the Germans back from the A line, the world was stunned, but dismissed us afterwards. Now we have restored the front and moved to take Russia once again. If the world doubts us, they do so at their own peril, for we are men of iron, born to fight, survive, and never even admit defeat. Okay, fuck. Tag, toe. I like how it's... I didn't even mean for it to be caps locked, but it's capturing my attitude very clearly. For fuck's sake. Tag WRS. Man, I can't believe the Russian Third Army mutinied. It's fucking brings tears to my eyes. But old soldiers never die, they just fade away. There you go. The human machine is back running again. Alright, we'll need to cut down on all that, get some anti-air equipment going. Next, let's work on some land auctions, although we could probably finish those up soon. Let's get some engineer companies going. I'll save the political power for when we integrate Orenburg. Get that improved cast going. The International blared as Grand Marshal Zhukov overlooked the assembled soldiers, these proud sons of socialism, faces beaming with triumph as they presented their flags of the front's defeated enemies, hanging low beneath the vibrant red banners of a victorious revolution. The soldiers tossed the captured standards of the enemies of Russian progress at the feet of their commanders. As each set of flags hit the cold hard stone of Lenin Square, the marshal reflected on the reactionary regimes each of them represented. The Communist Republic, its divided multicolored flag, reflected the deep divides that existed within the fractious bourgeois state. The black, gold, white tricolor of Vyatka represented a decrepit collection of aristocrats so desperate to claw their way back to power that they assisted the German dogs in despoiling the very land they claimed paternal affection for. The flying banner of Samara. Many Russians were seduced by Vazlov's promise of liberation, but behind that St. Andrew's cross marched the jackboots of fascist subjugation. They and the mad jackals of the AB, in their request to purify the Russian nation, bore the swastika with insane, shameless pride. As the parade marched on, Zhukov noticed the proudest faces were those of grizzled veterans who remembered the West Russian War. They remembered the triumph at Volgograd. They remembered Moscow and Leningrad, when final victory against the hated Germans seemed so close, only to be cruelly wrenched away by vile reactionary traitors. Now the banners of those same traitors lay at their feet, and the revitalized Red Army stood poised to cross the fields and reunite Russia once and for all. Zhukov knew that much work lay ahead of him, but today he allowed himself to bask in the warm glow of victory. Krasnaya Armia Vse Silny. How bad was that? Pronunciation-wise. I don't know if I want to know. Let's get some high moral standards going. Our forces, not our temporary militia, gathered to ward off bandits at harvest time. We aren't the bandits either, living by pillage and thievery. We aren't some warlords, hired thugs, and murderers. We are the Red Army, the ones to liberate the oppressed masses of the earth, and the only proper military Russia has around here. So you act like it, soldier. Come on, Orenburg. Decrease in poverty. Toast our economists. Oh, not another one. Okay, Orenburg. Beautiful. Never had that. Last time I tried to do that, didn't work out. Change division templates. Beautiful. Of course, we're going to go ahead and store all their shitty unit templates. There we go. Go ahead and integrate Orenburg and Magnitogorsk while we're at it. Get down to moderate. And then work on some more poverty programs. Poverty's already getting out of the grave at a pretty solid rate, actually. But it could always be getting out quicker. Uh-oh. Iberia. Oh, the Spanish Republic's kicking ass right now. Goddamn. Look at them go. In a war, there are no winners or losers, only victims. Michel Castillo. Iberia's dusk. Damn, right as I said they were doing great, they're being fucking crushed. I know this is very sad and the music nice, but I'm trying to fucking read here. Can you be quiet? Vasily whistled as he walked back to camp. It had been a short, victorious battle against some warlord who thought that ruling one village gave him the right to call himself a czar. One afternoon's work from Vasily and his comrades in the 34th People's Infantry forcefully dissuaded that would-be regret from his quest for the crown. Hey, Vasily! You only whistle when you found something good. What is it this time? Drinks are on me when we get back to civilization, Yuri. Vasily said as he reached into his pocket to display his latest trophy, a small gold necklace picked up from a house he was holed up in during the battle. Nice. That should fetch, what, 50 rubles at least? Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. All I care about is that this is our ticket to a proper celebration tonight. Halt! What have you got from there, comrade? The stand-faced commissar appeared from in front of the pair from seemingly nowhere. Striding up to Vasily, he snatched the gold vodka ticket from the dismayed soldier's hands. Did you take this to sell or because it brings out your eyes? Come with me, Ivanovic. Vasily ended up in a brig that night instead of a bar. The necklace was put into a bag with several other looted baubles to be returned to the village the next morning, as the commissar chided, before ushering Vasily to his cell. The Red Army is meant to liberate the oppressed from their chains, not their valuables. So much for that vodka. And so much for going longer, boys, because I gotta cut it here. Thank you as always for watching. If you like this video, leave a like. If not, feel free to dislike. If you want to see more of this content in the future, hit the sub button. Maybe hit the notification bell. I have uploads going up every weekday as well as occasionally Saturdays. If you have any comments, feedback, concern, anything sort, leave in the comment section below. I read all the comments I get. Appreciate any other feedback you might have for me. If you want to see feedback some way, I have a Patreon. If you want to see me do a sort of live, I have a Twitch. If you want to chat, play games, anything of the sort, check out my Discord. That's it for now, ladies and gentlemen. My name has been DB333. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.